Hello there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly read. You could be tuning in if you're Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign in Sagittarius. Let's get straight into it. 4 bodies of existence for y'all. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I think it's been like nearly 2 weeks. And they're meant to be weekly reads, but that is a-okay. Let's see what comes up for the physical body of existence, please, Spirit, in regards to Sagittarius' physical body of existence. What are the overall energies for the collective of Sagittarius tuning in today? It is the 5 of Swords. Okay, someone is not feeling too good, too shabby. Someone is feeling like they just can't be bothered with physical reality anymore. They want to escape the matrix, you know, to the point of escaping the matrix. Or even whether, like, I'm sorry to say, but even whether that's through death. This is known as a suicide card, so, you know, it just depends. There's just a huge shift in this being's perception, Sagittarius, of reality. You've just kind of had enough in regards to politics, what's going on in the ways of the world. It's just, you're just not vibing. The 10 of Spring, Saint Bernard dog. You're working far too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and enjoy. So yeah, I can see you're trudging through. There's just too many deadlines, too much physical activity. You know, there hasn't been any time for play. You've been working, moving that physical body. You know, there hasn't been much rest, Sagittarius, and it's getting to you mentally. I mean, this could be a mirror of something quite subconscious, but the energetics, like your cellular system, your nervous system is not having a good time. This is why this 5 of Swords is showing up. You know, you're being that perfect little dog, ultimately, and, you know, following the ways of the world, the man. I do advise turning your back from the ways of the world, look within to see out. And as you can see, this Saint Bernard's dog is like carrying a barrel of something, you know, on his throat. So there is something unspoken. Like, you've been holding your tongue. Someone ultimately, you know, you want to let them have it. This energy has been building up and you just haven't gone off. You haven't spoken your truth. I'm not going to advise you either way. This is just the energy that is reflecting. As you can see, that barrel of emotions, you know, purging out of his throat chakra. So, you know, the 10 of Spring in traditional tarot is the 10 of Wands. So, you know, there's just too much going on. You feel like you've been pummeled by too many lessons, tests, and blessings as of late. If you haven't experienced that yet, you know, it could be coming up this week, as this is a foretelling of the week coming up. But let's go into the emotional body of existence, Sagittarius. What wants to come through? So 7 of Cups. Because of the stress and everything that's been going on in the physical reality, you know, it has birthed some unholy desires with the 7 of Cups here. It's the illusions card. So, you know, you're reaching out for certain vices or things or emotional feeds that you maybe thought that you had healed, but they're coming up rearing their head this week. So this too shall pass. And then we have the 3 of Spring, the sea turtle. Stop to take time, Sagittarius, to review and make long-term plans, capitalizing upon your past successes, not your past pains, right? Because they create and brew fears and insecurities of the future. So it's appropriate to pat yourself on the back for all your accomplishes, but you may also need patience for the next phase to play out. So I feel like you're just not getting that recognition in the external from people, places, situations, and things, and you're just going to have to give that love to yourself this week instead of reaching out for that quick fix, that's escapism with the 7 of Cups, Sagittarius. You really have to move into gratitude for how far you've come and looking at your past successes, looking at the blessings, and, you know, really breathing that into your emotional body of existence and receiving that pat on the back from yourself. You can always turn to Jesus. Jesus is always there to give you a hug, you know, if you do feel alone. However, you are being guided to pat yourself on the back, Sagittarius. Like, you know, really self-love this week. But let's move into the mental body of existence for your Sagittarius. We do have the Moon card in reverse. So, you know, having the Seven of Cups, the illusion card, and then the Moon card in reverse, you know, you do have resistance to really see the mirroring that's going on of your shadow self in regards to the situation. That's why the best advice here is to give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself that love, which in truth, you know, you're giving your soul that love. And like I remind you all, if you don't know how to view your soul, the portal to your soul is your inner child, and then you just really mature that in visualization. You know, some of my clients, you know, have been suggesting that, or reminding me that they do have trouble visualizing. So if you'd like to book into a read, Sagittarius, and I can help you move into I am affirmations, visualizations, etc., I'm here. But the mental body of existence, the fact that the Moon card is in reverse, like, sorry to call you out, but you have been kind of putting it on everyone else, and like your frustrations are quite internalized. And, you know, it's kind of like this shitty energy towards everything in the external. No one's giving me that validation. No one's, you know, giving me that recognition. However, are you giving yourself that validation? Are you giving your soul that recognition and love? Because there is divine guidance this week, Sagittarius, to really look within. And, you know, look at how the negative shit in your external is mirroring out something that is being asked to be dissolved, released, casted within. So we have the Two of Spring. You got a lot of fire cards coming through, which is the Pelican, your vision, creativity, Sagittarius, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist you in your endeavors or expand the number of people helping you. So, you know, this came through with the Saint Bernard dog. You know, there's too much going on. You really have to reach out and ask for help this week, Sagittarius. And I feel like giving yourself that love and then reaching out, you know, it doesn't matter. It's not determined. It's not dependent on the external reality, you know, whether these people help or not, but simply just reaching out, asking for help. Yeah, definitely something going on in the throat chakra. There's like a bit of a blockage, unworthiness of, you know, you're believing that you actually deserve help. You've been doing it on your own for quite some time. However, you know, this is the last straw that's about to break the camel's back, as they say. So reaching out and asking for help. You can book into a clearing read or a protection for TIs if you feel guided. I'm here to help. But let's move into the spiritual body of existence. It is the Queen of Cups. So, you know, your spiritual lesson, test, and blessing ultimately is that you can look within to see out. You are very psychic. You've been on the spiritual journey for a while, the Sagittariuses that are tuning in this week. And, you know, you are very connected to that divine feminine psychic energy. You may be having dreams about divine feminine psychic awareness, wisdom, knowledge, fortitude. However, you can see with your eyes closed. What are you looking at though? You know, are you looking at your successes? Are you looking at and gifting love to your soul, to your internal realm? Because we don't want to focus on the negative unless you are using the mirror exercise, Divine is stating. So we do have the Star card coupling the Queen of Cups, and it states you are about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism, fear with hope, and joy is coming back to rest or to roost. So yeah, for you all that are divine masculines here in Sagittarius, you know, this is a feminine star. This is someone that you really look up to. They're very highly intuitive. They're, you know, quite a spiritual, divine feminine. If you're a feminine Sagittarius, it's representing the feminine within you. View yourself as the star. You know, you are the main character in you're in the show, you know, it's that singularity, it's the monad, it's I am present. So let's get a wisdom oracle here to finish off the read for your Sagittarius. Time to play. Make time to dance and play. It's being too serious. It's being too work orientated. And Sagittarius, y'all are one of the signs that are the most fun loving and enjoy playtime. So, you know, it's time to play with yourself and not in a sus way. Dance when you're broken are open. Dance if you've torn the bandage off. Dance in the middle of the fighting. Dance in your blood. Dance when you're perfectly free. So Jesus is coming to your Sagittarius to remind you that play and developing a more playful attitude are not only enjoyable but essential to good mental health. This card plays an important role in building strong, healthy relationships by bringing people closer to you, creating positive bonds, and resolving conflict and disagreements. If you are looking for new relationships, playfulness and humor can be effective tools, not just for attracting others, but also to help overcome insecurity and feelings of embarrassment that might have arisen in your past encounters. Oh dear Sagittarius, do not limit your own joy by being self-conscious and overly concerned about how you look and sound to others when you attempt to be lighthearted. There is no reason to be worried that being playful will make you look ridiculous. Reclaim your inner child by setting aside regular quality time to have fun. The more lighthearted you are, Sagittarius, the easier it becomes. Sprinkle your life with the more fun things that make you lose yourself in the moment. Beloved, you need to play, especially when you believe you are too busy. Why not start now? The great oracle wisdom encourages you to be in love with life, and no matter what you are doing. When you remember to dance, you feel joy. Plan to do something playful, be spontaneous, set aside your inhibitions and do something fun that you haven't done for a long time. So the mantra for your this week, Sagittarius, is I am in love with life. There is always time to play, always time for fun, always a time for love. So yeah, what I can see there, Sagittarius, is, you know, this is about bringing back the playful you. I can see that you all had a lot of fun playing in the past. It may have been 2 weeks, 2 months, or even 2 years ago, you know, since you've really had fun playing with friends, with yourself, enjoying dance, enjoying joy. So really remember, move into somewhat of a nostalgic energy and live it starting now. Thank you, Sagittarius. I'll see you on the other side. Namaste. Amen.